With each passing day, Sonic 3 gets closer to hitting theaters, and the third movie featuring the blue blur promises to blow our minds. Haha, it does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika, especially now that we know Shadow will team up with Dr. Robotnik, but how did Sonic's arch-nemesis manage to convince Shadow to form this alliance? It's time, Shadow! As we've seen, the film will delve into Shadow's tragic past. If it follows the game's storyline closely, it's likely that Shadow's motivations in the movie will mirror those in the games. So what does Shadow want? It's simple. Revenge against humanity. In the games, Shadow was created 50 years ago by Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather, as an experiment to achieve immortality, and more importantly, to cure the illness of Gerald's granddaughter, Maria. Shadow and Maria grew to be great friends until Gerald's research facility was attacked by GUN, a military organization. They aimed to shut down the project, believing Shadow was too dangerous. Tragically, Maria lost her life during the attack. This devastating loss filled Shadow with uncontrollable rage. He blames humanity for her death, as it was humans who took her away from him. From that point forward, Shadow is determined to make the world feel the same pain he does. This, without a doubt, is the main reason Dr. Robotnik will succeed in striking a deal with Shadow. Shadow will see the scientist as a valuable tool, a stepping stone toward achieving his goals. In return, Shadow will help Robotnik defeat Sonic. For Shadow, this is just killing two birds with one stone. After all, Sonic and his friends will inevitably try to stop Shadow's plans, forcing him to fight the heroes anyway. The question is, how will Robotnik prove himself useful to Shadow? Don't worry, we're here to discuss some theories about how this sinister partnership might take shape in Sonic 3. So join us as we start another Cine Wave. The similarities between the games and the movie don't stop there. The trailers reveal what many fans suspected. Sonic 3 will draw heavily from Sonic Adventure 2, the game where Shadow made his debut. Some fans initially thought the film would only adapt Shadow's origin story from the game, but it seems other plot elements from Sonic Adventure 2 will also make their way into the movie, including the partnership between Shadow and Eggman. We already know from the trailers that Shadow's tragic backstory plays a crucial role in aligning him with the villains, but one likely change is how Shadow is introduced in the present timeline. In both the games and the cinematic universe, Shadow is kept in suspended animation, while the exact details of his release in the film remain unclear. In the games, it's Dr. Robotnik who wakes him up and proposes the partnership. However, the trailers show Sonic approaching Robotnik at one point to ask for help. At this moment, Robotnik appears overweight and depressed after his defeat in the second movie. We believe this happens before he joins forces with Shadow. This suggests that Shadow either escapes on his own or is freed by someone else, possibly Gerald Robotnik. It also implies that Eggman initially allies with Sonic, trading a quill from Sonic containing some of his power, but he later betrays Sonic to partner with Shadow. One clue supporting this theory is Robotnik's appearance. When he's working with Shadow, he's well-groomed and back to his usual scheming self, as if his depression is lifted and he's fully operational again. The first trailer suggests this transformation occurs after his brief alliance with Sonic. What's crucial is that Robotnik already has possession of one of Sonic's quills when he convinces Shadow to join him. It's highly likely this quill plays a key role in how Robotnik secures Shadow's allegiance. We'll dive into that in the next section. But first, quick question. Do you love Shadow? If so, drop a comment below with hashtag Shadow. Throughout the Sonic movies, it's been established that Sonic's quills, brimming with his supercharged energy, are an unlimited power source that Eggman can harness to fuel and enhance his most powerful weapons. With just one quill, Eggman can make his flying machines nearly as fast as Sonic himself. Since we know from the trailers that Robotnik already has one of Sonic's quills before meeting Shadow, it's likely that Shadow sees Robotnik at the peak of his firepower, or close to it, since that giant mech powered by the Master Emerald in the second movie is pretty hard to top. But it's not just Robotnik's military might that will intrigue Shadow. What truly draws him in is Robotnik's expertise in understanding Sonic's energy and his ability to develop technology capable of manipulating it, something Gerald Robotnik himself may not have mastered. In the trailer, Shadow can be seen running in circles to generate enough energy to power a massive ship capable of blasting a chunk out of the moon with a laser. Dr. Robotnik was likely instrumental in modifying the ship to absorb and manipulate Shadow's energy, or perhaps he built the entire thing himself. Another strong possibility is that Shadow is seeking the Chaos Emeralds to accomplish his goals, and for that, he would definitely need Dr. Robotnik's help. After the Master Emerald was split into the 7 Chaos Emeralds in the second movie, allowing Sonic to achieve his super form, it's hard to imagine these powerful artifacts not making a return in the sequel. In Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow aims to steal the Chaos Emeralds to power the Ark, a space station resembling the ship seen in the trailer. The Ark is capable of devastating Earth, making it an obvious choice for someone bent on vengeance against humanity. Given Robotnik's prior experience with the Chaos Emeralds, it would make sense for Shadow to join forces with the scientists to track down all 7 artifacts. However, there's an interesting detail in the trailers that might indicate Shadow doesn't need the Chaos Emeralds in this version. During his first battle against Team Sonic, Shadow freely teleports, a power he possesses in the games, but only when holding at least one Chaos Emerald. In the movie, Shadow appears to teleport without any such artifact. If the Chaos Emeralds are present, why change this? They could have easily shown Shadow grabbing a single emerald before the fight. It wouldn't have been difficult. This change might also explain why the villain ship, which mirrors the art from the games, operates differently. Instead of being powered by Chaos Emeralds, it seems Shadow himself serves as the ship's power source, as he's shown running in circles to generate energy. Why would the film shift away from the Chaos Emeralds? Are they completely absent? It's also possible that Shadow and the villains failed to secure the emeralds, forcing Shadow to generate energy as a backup plan. As for his teleportation powers, this could be a harmless tweak to avoid having Shadow carry a Chaos Emerald in every fight where he uses teleportation. Alternatively, the movie might depict Shadow absorbing the Chaos Emerald's energy entirely, causing the artifact to disappear, while its power is stored within him. While this wouldn't be enough to activate his Super Shadow transformation, it would allow him to use his Chaos energy powers like teleportation, slow in time, or manipulating energy. Let's be honest, do you really think the filmmakers would pass up the chance to show Super Sonic and Super Shadow fighting side by side? They're almost guaranteed to make an appearance and blow everyone's minds in the theater. When Sonic 3 hits theaters, rest assured we'll release some incredible videos about it. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on those or any of our other content about your favorite animated movies. Another significant change between Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 3 the movie might heavily influence the partnership between Shadow and Eggman. This change comes in the form of one character, Gerald Robotnik. As we've already discussed, Shadow's backstory in the game takes place 50 years before Sonic's adventures, after which Shadow remains in suspended animation for decades. Shadow was created by Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather. Here's where the movie diverges. Gerald is very much alive and actively fighting alongside his grandson and Shadow against Sonic. In the games, Gerald was executed by the gun shortly after the incident that led to Maria's death. His final act was setting up the revenge plan against humanity that Shadow would carry out. However, in the film, Gerald appears to be the one actively leading this project. With Gerald alive, he gets to interact with his grandson, and the trailers show that the two seem to have a strong bond. So, even if Shadow sees no value in Dr. Robotnik, Gerald might convince him that Sonic's arch-enemy can be useful to both of them. And since Maria is gone, Gerald is the only human Shadow has any emotional connection to. There's also a strong chance that Dr. Robotnik will betray Sonic upon realizing one of the enemies he had agreed to take down is in fact his grandfather. This makes it highly likely that Gerald will serve as the bridge connecting Shadow and Dr. Robotnik. It's certainly suspicious that Gerald Robotnik is still alive in the modern timeline. In the games, he was already an old man 50 years ago. If Shadow's origin story also took place decades earlier in the movie universe, as suggested by the trailers, was Gerald much younger back then? From the flashback showing him finding Maria after her death, he doesn't seem particularly young. Could Gerald have been preserved in suspended animation, just like Shadow? If that's the case, why is he only resurfacing now to exact revenge? There's also a lot of fan speculation that the movie might involve time travel. Could Gerald be brought from the past into the present timeline? We'll probably have to wait until December 25th to find out the truth. The video's wrapping up, but we've left 2 amazing videos on your screen. Click one to keep the fun going. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.